How long did you live in Alaska?
I lived in Alaska for 3 years from 2002 to 2005. In a nutshell, what happened is I graduated, decided to take a year off, graduated with I had a bachelor's degree, an honors degree in kinesiology from the University of Western Ontario. I went to university after high school, not really knowing what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. But I liked science. I liked sports. I had some friends going to Western. There was a myth that there were 7 women to every man there and that it was an amazing party school. So I was like, this magical world sounds incredible. So I moved to London, Ontario, spent 4 amazing years in London, Ontario. And then when I graduated, I originally thought I was going to do like chiro or physio or med school, or I was thinking naturopathic school. I also was thinking potentially business school at this Ivy School of Business in at Western, but I just decided to take a year off. And then in that year off, I somehow stumbled across a sales opportunity with a financial services company, and just thought rather than the usual student jobs, get some corporate world, real world training. And really, I had read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and in that, one of the things that he recommended was, no matter what you're doing in any walk of life, learn some sales skills. So work for a company that has a sales training program. So I did that. And about 2 years in, or no, less, a year into it, I was promoted to run my own branch. Basically, I was given an opportunity to open my own branch office. And they gave me a short list of small market cities that didn't have offices. So it was like Boise, Idaho, Fargo, North Dakota, Butte, Montana, and Anchorage, Alaska. So as a 23-year-old, literally packed up everything I owned into a Hyundai Elantra at the time in London, Ontario, drove 9 days to Anchorage, Alaska, straight, like 10, 12-hour days.
Wow.
My brother met me in Calgary for the last 4 days, up through you sort of cut through top of Alberta and the top of BC, up the Yukon Highway or the Alaska Highway, through the Yukon, and then back down into Alaska, down to Anchorage. So I spent 3 amazing years in Anchorage, like breathtaking, constantly jaw drop, like at the scenery, mountains right down into ocean, just like literally a postcard everywhere you look. It was incredible.
Wow.
But it was way too far away. It's way, way far away. It's another time zone past BC, and it's like it was a full day's travel to get back every time too. So I just, in the end, it was too far away from family and friends. So after 3 years, I moved back.
Was everything more expensive there? Because I know from like the territories and Nunavut and stuff like that, they pay people extra because of the isolation.
Yeah.
Do you get like an isolation fee in Alaska as well?
I didn't personally in our company because it just wasn't how we operated. But I think some companies, there was like a little step up, and like cost of groceries and stuff. There's a little steeper cost of living there, but
because I guess they have to import everything, right?
Yeah,
Or
everything
more or less.
ship or plane. Yeah, for the most part, unless it's oil, timber, or salmon. Those 3 things are right from there.
Oh, the salmon must be super, super fresh.
It was insane. From basically the tail end of April till the end of September, literally every week there's a different type of salmon running. Like they live in the ocean and then they come back to the river where they were born every year. So they would come back, or maybe not every year, but whenever that's time to spawn. But so literally every week it would be like pink salmon, then sockeye, then silver salmon, then whatever all the names of salmon are. But it was literally all summer. There was times where you'd go and it would be shoulder to shoulder fishermen, like guys in hip waders, literally shoulder to shoulder. And then the guy, when you caught one, you would yell fish on. And then the rule of thumb, like the respect, is everyone else pulls their line out to give you a clear way to fight them and to reel them in. But it was like the rivers are like boiling with salmon. Like you see them, they're like popping out and all over each other. Like it looks like it's boiling over. Like you practically jump into your boat. There's so many. It was insane.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah. One time, cool fun fact, just while we're on the Alaska tip, just because I like to talk about it. So there was this one river. It was in Kenai, Alaska, which I believe is where Chris Pratt lived when he was younger. He was actually I think he was born there. Maybe he was raised there, but he lived in Alaska for several years in Kenai. And I stayed at a bed and breakfast in Kenai on a business trip one time. And the river we were on, I didn't know this, but the river we were on was close enough to the ocean that it was affected by the tides. So I didn't realize this. So I'd be like in the backyard chilling, looking at this river, and it's flowing one way. And then I would like go out on appointments or later come back for dinner after dinner, and I'd be out in the backyard. And I'm like, I swear to God, this river was flowing the other way, but it would change. It would ebb and flow with the tides. So in the morning it'd be going one way, then it would reverse. But it was like really trippy because it would empty out completely. The river would empty out completely.
Oh, wow.
And then it would reverse as the tides come in.
Yeah.
It was close enough so that there would be like sea lions and otters and stuff, plus all the salmon would kind of float their way in. Yeah, it was crazy. I
That's
highly
super
recommend
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Recommend it. If you ever get a chance to go to Alaska, take advantage of it. It's breathtaking.
Cool.